Hello and welcome to a colour reading for May people to see how their June 2026 will progress. This is Karen's Colours and I'm Dr. Karen. The colours that we looked at for May 2026 showed that there were a number of difficulties that we had to negotiate throughout that month. And if your month went smoothly, then wonderful for you. On the other hand, if it was a bit rough, let's see what June will bring for you, shall we? For myself, it started off smoothly enough and then gradually progressed further and further into a period in which I really started to reevaluate these readings. Are they in fact even valuable to people? I don't get much feedback, but if you're planning on making such feedback, please feel free. I'd like to hear from you. If you're new here, of course, you'd probably be a little confused. My colour readings are not all love and light and wishful thinking. I read the colours as they turn out. And if that's something that doesn't appeal to you, then perhaps a tarot reader might be more your style. So I guess we need to get started. And now let's look for some colours for people born in the month of May to check out their June 2026. And firstly, I want a combination for strength. What we have here is green on orange. The obstacles that they're likely to face. And here we have blue on cyan. And finally, an underlying energy to support this journey. And we have green on red. Very well then. The strength. Green on orange. Orange internally is about survival. It's the need to have the confidence to keep going, to get on with whatever it is that you are faced with, to survive and to also thrive as a result of that activity. In the real world, there are opportunities here for trying something new. And it all comes down to, do you have the confidence to do or get engaged with or get involved in whatever it is that is offered to you as an alternative? Together, these two are about change. They're about change in a direction that requires a lot of yourself to be involved in making decisions. There is yellow hidden in both of these, and they're both about decisions. This is thinking about what you do before you do it, and this is thinking about what is going to give you a greatest degree of satisfaction. The obstacle that faces you is blue on cyan. Now, these colours are very closely related. Cyan is a pale form of blue. And cyan as an internal driver, as an obstacle, means that there is a feeling of stalemate, a feeling of boredom. There is a need to get away from that feeling, to be able to find some sort of bliss and comfort and satisfaction, but it is sorely missing. And instead, in its place, is a lot of hard work, a lot of organization, a lot of responsibility, a lot of duty that needs to be carried out. But that duty doesn't make you feel more satisfied, more content, more happy internally. In fact, if anything, it just simply feeds back into more discontent, means more responsibility, which in turn also creates more discontent. The underlying driver, the underlying energy here that enables a support of the strength and the weakness is green on red. Now, green and red are opposites on the colour wheel, and as such, when we mix them together, they form brown. Brown is a colour of ambition, of goals, of practical skills, of getting on with doing something creative and industrious at the same time. But as separate colours here, the red internally shows that there is an awful lot of energy. You are absolutely jumping out of your skin with energy. And in the real world, there are opportunities here that abound in all sorts of directions. And basically, it's just a matter of what are you going to choose. This is the Robin Hood combination. Inside, there is lots of energy and potentially even anger at injustices. And in the real world, there is action to rectify those injustices. So here we have a combination that enables you to do something that is in keeping with your values, but also within the scope of what energies you have available to you. So let's just briefly look at the colors that are missing. For a start, there's no black, there's no white. You have red, there's no yellow. You have green, you have blue. There's no brown, there is orange. There's no grey, there's no purple, there's no pink, but you do have cyan. So in effect, these colours here are the ones that are missing from your life at present. They're all skills that you are aware of. You've probably practiced them in the past, and they are available to you if you choose them to add to your repertoire for the month of June. But right now, I just want to leave these aside as we look at in more detail what happens to the interactions between the strength, the obstacle, and then the underlying support. So firstly, the strength, green and orange. The obstacle is blue and cyan. And the underlying support is green on red. Leaving the underlying support aside for a moment, let's look at the interactions between the strength and the obstacle. And we do this by crossing over the drivers, so that instead of this search for and the grabbing at whatever novel experience is coming at you, driven from a knowledge that you can survive anything, now becomes driven by a need for peace and harmony and just getting settled down. That can be a positive thing. But on the other hand, it also is a case of if you are feeling as though you're in a state of suspension, a state of stalemate, and you are grasping at every straw that comes your way, that in itself can be depleting of energy. On the other hand, you can also have the blue organization and duty and responsibility that is the obstacle being driven not by a desire to overcome stagnation, but in fact by a desire to just simply survive no matter what. And what we have here is a situation in which blue and orange also are opposites on the color wheel. And also when we combine them together, we form brown. So once again, not only do we have here from the underlying energy a type of brown, we also have it here as a possibility between the interaction of the obstacle and the main strength. Blue and orange are also brown. So there is also here a way of organizing some sort of goal, some sort of ambition, some sort of thing that you want to accomplish. And in wanting to accomplish it, you need to set it, and then you need to get the skills that are necessary in order to achieve it. But as such, what we have here is a sense of, I need to get over this. I need to be able to survive. There is a sense of, it's not quite frustration, because frustration is more red, but it's an unease. Things are not quite going the way that you want them to. There is a sense of some sort of drama and crisis that surrounds the orange as well, particularly when it's paired with the blue above, which says that there are things that you have to do, but all they're doing is feeding into this sense of time is being wasted. And that's part and parcel of what Orange is about. I need to do something now, but in the real world, there's so many things that I have to do that I'm not getting done what I feel I need to do. So this is the combination that we get from crossing the strength and the obstacle. What happens then if we cross these with the underlying energy? So let's just move these across. And here we have a different view again. And this is an interesting one, because if we take the underlying drivers and cross them over, we get exactly what we started with. So the strength and the supporting energy give us a double dose of themselves. That's rather interesting, because when we look at red and orange together, one says get ready to, the other one says stop. And this says go, 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 go. You are asking of yourself in June to get your act together and grab at the opportunities as they arise. Try something new, do something different. Examine where it is that you are likely to end up, and then aim for that. Take the courage, be confident, use as much energy as that is needed in order to create this new life that beckons for you in June. It's an interesting combination. Once again, it's one I haven't come across before, where both combinations are exactly the same as the originating combinations. So what happens then if we take that underlying support energy and cross it with the obstacle? Well, this is what we get. The green, the new path, coming as a result of a desire to overcome stagnation and boredom, comes through as, look, I'm so sick of doing what I've been doing before, so now anything else that comes in my direction, I'll go for it. I won't be concerned about what that is. I'll just simply go for it. Is that a good thing? Don't know. It depends on what it is that's coming your way. On the other hand, you can also have the red energy from the support, that is the ability to have as much energy as you need, and add that to the blue, the responsibility of the obstacle. And what we have here is a combination that possibly leads to some sort of calamity in terms of obstruction. Blue and red are not quite opposites, but they do represent mother energy and fathering energy. And when those two energies are together as a potential problem, then it means that what you end up with is purple, which is a compromise that is often very disruptive. So here we have, I'm full of energy, I want to do stuff, but I'm tied down to the drudgery of everyday sameness. And that is not necessarily a good thing to be. It means that you're constantly in waiting for something to change, for something to give. Will it happen? I don't know, because you're really stuck in a place, because up here in the real world, there are too many things to do, and that is your obstacle. Maybe you've taken on too many burdens. Maybe it's time to let some of them go. Maybe that's what these are all about. Well, let's now have a look at what those missing colours are to see what they can offer us as alternative behaviours. Well, black says take time out. You need more sleep. You need more time to rest and recuperate. White says when things happen that are unexpected, go with the flow. Just allow them to happen. Experience whatever it is that's out there. Don't hide away from it. Yellow says, what have you done in the past? Where are you going? What happiness have you found in the past? Have you learnt from those skills that you've used in the past? And how are you going to use them in the present? Brown. While brown exists a couple of times here and here as parts of your repertoire for June, as a distinct colour, it isn't there. So maybe it's time to set some absolutely in concrete type goals. You need to be able to write them down, put them in a way that they exist in the real world so that your unconscious can start working on achieving them. Grey. Do you always have to be exactly right? Do things always have to work out for you exactly the way that you want them to? Sometimes compromise is a good way to go. Purple. If things are likely to be disruptive, and there is the potential for that here, then why not just have fun with it instead of trying to fight against it? And finally, pink. Are you loving and caring enough to yourself? Do you exhibit those skills towards others? Are you capable of receiving those skills from others? All of that depends on what choices you make. And the idea, of course, is to choose from amongst these the one colour that is most appealing, and then the one colour that is least appealing, and add them to whatever it is you're doing in June. And hopefully you'll end up somewhere that doesn't make you feel as though life just simply isn't worth continuing on with, because all it does is create boredom and sameness and too much hard work. It's up to you. Well, I guess that the colour reading for this month is one that you can either take as a positive if things are going well for you, but for some of you, it's going to be something that is a bit of a struggle. That struggle continues on from what's been happening during the rest of this year. Let's hope that you can make something positive out of whatever your reading is, and specifically out of the colours that you have chosen to use as your treatment or therapy colours. Having a look at what is available to me this month, looks like it's going to be a repetition of what I had in May, and that wasn't easy to deal with. Still, I'm here, and hopefully I'll be back in July for another set of readings. In the meantime, may the colours of your life bring you all the joy and happiness that you deserve. And I'll catch you next time. Bye.